All right, welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dive into three of the biggest, most important words we know: happiness, fulfillment, and success. We're going to explore what really makes them different, how they connect, and why just understanding them can give you a kind of blueprint for building a life you actually, truly love. We throw these words around all the time, right? Happiness, fulfillment, success. We kind of lump them all together. We figure if we get one, the others will just magically show up. But what if that's not true at all? What if they're actually totally separate things, each one needing a different approach? So, to really get a handle on this, let's imagine them as three distinct pillars. Each one is absolutely crucial if you want to build a sturdy, well-rounded life, but they're all made of different stuff. So let's break them down one by one, starting with the one we all seem to be chasing the most: happiness. Okay, so pillar number one, happiness. What is it, really? Is it some kind of destination you finally arrive at? Or is it more like a muscle you have to work out every single day? Here's the most important thing you got to get about happiness. It's an emotion. It's a feeling, and it happens in the present moment. It's that warm feeling you get from a great conversation, the joy of watching a sunset, or just that simple satisfaction of finishing a good book. It's all about how you feel right here, right now. And when we look at what actually brings on that feeling, science is pretty clear. It's not one big magical thing. It's a bunch of small, consistent things. And notice how many of these are actual choices we make. Practicing gratitude, taking care of our bodies, connecting with people. These are things you do. In fact, if you had to pick just one thing from that list, this would be it. There's this incredible 80-year-long study from Harvard, and it found that the quality of our relationships is the single biggest predictor of our long-term happiness and health. It's not fame, it's not money, it's the strength of our connections with other people. Now, here's something really fascinating from all the research. It seems that about half of our general day-to-day happiness level is just baked into our DNA. It means some of us are just naturally wired to be a little bit sunnier than others. But, and this is a huge but, that means a full 50% is completely within our control. It's shaped by our habits, our mindset, and all those things we just saw on the list. So happiness isn't just something that happens to you. It's a skill. It's something you can actually practice and get better at. All right, let's move on to our second pillar, fulfillment. This one takes us from a momentary feeling to something much, much deeper. You could say if happiness is about feeling good, fulfillment is about feeling that your life matters. See, fulfillment isn't really about those emotional highs of the present moment. It's this quieter, more stable sense of deep satisfaction that comes from living a life that's actually aligned with who you are. It's that feeling that you're on the right path, using your talents for something that you believe in. And when you look at what drives fulfillment, you start to see this subtle shift inward. Yeah, relationships are still super important, but the focus turns to things like authenticity and personal growth. It becomes way more about the journey itself, not just how good you feel at the end of it. And this right here is the absolute key difference. You can be fulfilled even when you're not particularly happy. I mean, think about a doctor working a crazy long shift in the emergency room, or an activist fighting for a cause they believe in. They might be stressed, tired, definitely not happy in that moment, but their work gives them this incredible sense of purpose. That is fulfillment. Okay, now for pillar number 3, success. And honestly, this is the one that gets confused with the other two all the time. It's also the one that can easily lead us astray from happiness and fulfillment if we're not careful. The key idea with success is that it's all about achievement. It's an outcome. It's about crossing a finish line. But here's the most important part. You are the one who gets to define what that finish line is. Success isn't some universal standard. It's about hitting the goals that you, personally, set for yourself. So it's no surprise that the drivers of success are very action-oriented. They're all about mindset and grit and strategy. Things like having a growth mindset, that deep belief that you can always improve, and the resilience to just get back up when you fail, those are absolutely essential for achieving anything worthwhile. This brings up a really vital point. We usually think of success in external terms, right? Money, job titles, getting recognized by others. But there's also internal success, hitting your own personal milestones, living a life that matches your values, feeling that sense of accomplishment on your own terms. Chasing that external success without the internal part, that's a classic recipe for feeling empty. Okay, so we've looked at each pillar on its own. Now let's put it all together and see how happiness, fulfillment, and success all connect to form the blueprint for a genuinely good life. So first, you've got happiness. Think of it like your emotional dashboard, always checking in on how you're doing in the present moment. Next up, fulfillment. This one takes the long view. It's always asking if the path you're on really lines up with your deepest values. And finally, success. This one looks backward at the results, measuring your progress against the targets you set for yourself. This line basically sums up the whole thing. Happiness is all about the feeling in the present moment, and it's driven by your emotions. Fulfillment is about finding meaning over your whole life's journey, and that's driven by your values. And success, that's about achieving your goals, and it's driven by ambition. They're three totally different games with three totally different scoreboards. And this is really the ultimate takeaway. The goal isn't just to max out one of these pillars and forget the others. The real art of building a good life is understanding how they're different and then intentionally weaving all three into the fabric of your days. So we'll leave you with a question. Looking at your own life, right now, which pillar are you building really well and which one might need a little more of your focus? Because knowing the difference is the very first step to building a life that isn't just successful or just happy, but truly whole.